Hello and welcome to the Temple of Tomes with your host, Indie Comics Jones. Today is February 27th, 2021, and this is episode 215. Today we're taking a look at the Moon Maid, and this arc is called The Three Keys. This is part of the Edgar Rice Burroughs universe, and it's put out by American Mythology Productions. This is the number one in the arc, and it comes in at a whopping $3.99, and right off the bat we get a picture of what I believe is the Moon Maiden. But I'm not quite sure because it's not really introduced that well, and I don't recall any wings on her in this issue at least, but I'm assuming that's her. And she's got another name, if you will. So let's get into it. Nice that they centered her right in the middle of the cover here. Let's see who worked on this, okay? I believe that this is the first real arc after the regular Moon Maid came out, which was an Edgar Rice Burroughs adaptation, exactly story for story. This is a new story altogether called The Three Keys. The writer on this is Mike Wolfer, who I've been really enjoying on some of the other American Mythology productions. So I had no qualms about picking this up and sight unseen and not knowing anything about it. The artist is Mariana Puglio. The colorist is Piria Pilale. I don't know. And the letterer is Natalie Jane. Now, the main cover was done by Richard Ortiz and Bruna Costa. Okay? And if you know anything about Mike Wolfer, he really goes into detail on his narration here. Where actually what we're reading here is not so much a narration, but actually kind of like a journal entry that is supposed to be transmitted from the moon back to Earth. Now, there was a rocket ship that had Townsend Harper Jr. on it, who is the son of Townsend Harper, obviously, who is in the Monster Men, which is another Edgar Rice Burroughs universe type story, which I recommend as well. He was in a rocket ship, and they went into this crater on the moon, only to discover another world underneath the surface of the moon. And you can see how beautiful and lush it is. It's also dangerous. And we come across the Moon Maiden, and forgive me, I can't remember her name. It's something very strange, like Vana or something like that. But anyway, she's out there picking up herbs to make a special potion, and she immediately realizes something is coming up, and she goes for the trees to hide out, but it's too late, and she gets attacked by this giant toad frog monster who's trying to zap her with the tongue. And apparently she's come across this same toad before, and she has not killed it in the past. She's just stunned it. So they get a little bit of a chase scene going on. It's kind of fun. And she hides around the other side of the tree. It's trying to catch up to her, and she's able to zap it with this tranquilizing arrow and take it out. And she tells him, you do this every month, when I'm out collecting these special herbs, and you did it to me again. And so she leaves him to till the potion wears off, and she's going back towards her home. She stops at this pond and takes a drink of this water. Suddenly she notices another creature there that she's never seen before. And this creature first wants to eat her, along with the other group that's going with her. And she's saying, don't eat me, I'm the last human here. And they ask if she's the queen. She says, no, I'm not a queen. And then she notices they're carrying a wounded person with them. And it turns out that they got wiped out by the Calcars, which I guess is another human species that's trying to take over the planet. It's also wiped out Moon Maid's, whatever you want, her people as well. So they have a connection there, even though these creatures don't believe her. They kind of have like a horse back legs, almost like not a centaur, but I forget what they call them. They can be biped or quadruped, depending on the situation. So you can see she's carrying a wounded and she said that this woman got actually bit by that, like something like that toad or something, and she says, I can fix her. We got to take her back to my home and I can patch her up. So she convinces them to follow her up to her mountain lair, and they follow her after quite a discussion. And they don't really trust her, but they really have no choice because she's the last female, and if she dies, then their whole species is dead. So, there's this action of them leaping across this cavern to the front doorstep. Pretty neat. I mean, she takes them into this special place where it needs a key to unlock. I don't know if this is the first key of the 3 keys, but that's the one we see. And they keep, they don't trust her at all. They keep saying, you better not betray us. And so she mixes the potion up and she feeds it to the wounded girl. And meanwhile, the other guy, one of the guys, she's telling him not to go in there. And he goes ahead and goes in there, discovers this deserted city behind this one door. She said, you're not to go back there. That's my sacred city. It's a sacred place. And she tries to explain it to her. And you can see it's carved out of this side of this. I'm guessing it's one of the crater tunnels. It's really pretty cool looking. And she's explaining, this is I'm the last one of the Calcars have killed all the rest of my people. In the meantime, we see these guys here, and I don't know if these are the Calcars or not, but they have landed, and I'm assuming they landed on a shoreline close by where this village is, this deserted village. So we'll find out in the next issue. I always like Mike Wolfer's writing. It's very good. It's very descriptive. It's very exciting. And unfortunately, they gave us should be fortunately, but this is unfortunately, they gave us a preview of the Monster Men. Now, I did a review of this, I want to say 3 or 4 months ago of all 3 issues. So we've already finished the review on this 3-4 issues ago. So American Mythology has a problem with getting their issues out in order. I know I've gotten other issues out of order, and I had to wait for the other one to come in before I could read the one that I had picked up. So this was a recommend, though, this Monster Men. There's one that's Monster Men that's just regular, and then the Monster Men, which is a 3 series arc, which was also very good. So let's see if there's anything else in here from, it is a recommend, by the way, Moon Maid. So let's see if there's anything else in here that looks good. Zorro and In the Land That Time Forgot. So you got that going on. Carson of Venus. This has been kind of hit and miss, depending on who's writing it. I think I've enjoyed I think there was a Len Wein that they had brought back, an older issue from the 70s that was very good. The other things I had read I didn't care for as much. They're just okay. The Land That Time Forgot. Fearless. I'm kind of thinking we might have reviewed this, but I don't recall exactly. Then we have Pel Kedar, which seems to be like a Sheena, and I think I reviewed this one as well. So this issue must be old. And it just got to my comic book store this week, so they're way out of order. Zorro versus El Hijo del Muerte. I have not seen that. It's the Galleon of Death. I did read a preview in one of the previous issues, and it looked really good, so I could recommend this. This is a Mike Wolfer story as well, so this looked actually pretty good. And Beware the Witch's Shadow. Like, these are all old. These have already come out. They should be available. You could probably order them. It looks like they're all number 1s. And there you go. The Moon Maid. Thank you for stopping by and listening to my review of this recommend. As always, please like, please subscribe, and please leave comments. And we'll see you next time at the Temple of Tomes. This is Indie Comics Jones bidding you adieu.